Hi everyone, Ravenna from Triple Moon Goddess 88 here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. I've got a bit to go through today. I've had downloads over the last couple of days. And basically was guided not to record anything yesterday. So when universe speaks, I listen because I know it's for a reason. So first off, one of the things I got was the word or name heart, but spelt H-A-R-T. It may not resonate for everyone, but if that resonates for someone, great. I have no idea what that could mean. Also red feathers. You may come across a red feather. You may be looking at a red feather, like, who knows? So red feathers. Now yesterday morning, just as I was waking up, I heard 3 car doors slam. But in my mind's eye, instantly it was 3 doors closing. And universe was saying it is done. Now I know that was for me, but they've also guided me to share it with you guys because it may be significant for some others at this time, especially now around this blue moon that's happening. And I'll get further into a little bit more about what I got in a second, but they were saying that there's 3 doors to. One was to past situations or people that's done now. It's gone. The second door was to past closing doors to old parts of self, and the other door was closing to. Okay, I've gone blank. I'm so sorry. That's for you to know and for no one else to know. All right. Now, I know a few people that I've been speaking to and have been feeling either tired or just not themselves, feeling flat. Moods might be up and down, headaches, feeling out of sorts in some way, even overwhelmed. Universe is saying it's this transition of what we're going through at the moment, which I said I'll get into shortly, but it's also about where are you giving away your energy or letting your energy leak? Or are you giving away too much of your power? They're asking you to bring your energy and all of that back in and to protect it at this time in particular, especially with what's going on inside of you with the releasing of old parts of yourself and trying to integrate the new during this time. So they're saying that if old protections aren't working, then you need to find something else that works, and you definitely need to ground yourself at this time. Just while everything's, you're basically building a new foundation for yourself. So, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, you're releasing the old parts of self, old stories, old hurts, old traumas and all that sort of stuff. So around this time, and even over the next few weeks, sort of while that's still doing everything that it needs time for it all to integrate properly. So it's not an overnight thing. Yeah, so a lot of you, and myself as well, we're not only shedding the old, but we're adjusting to the new version of ourselves, learning how to think, feel, walk, talk, and just be. This is, for a lot of us, this is a new way of being. We've been doing, and for many have been, doing the work and healing over, a long period of time, but it's been in gradual amounts leading us up to sort of this stage where we've now got to start integrating it and really being the new version of ourselves. And as I said, building the new foundations, we walked for so many years on rocky foundations and within our own lives from childhood, and we've been taking that apart and ripping that apart, but we've got to build our new foundations up properly and sturdy, and that's what many of us have been doing. So it's not something that we can rush. It's not something that that we can just say, yep, we're done, this is it, let's go. It is something that takes time. Learning how to do all that from a different awareness, a different mindset, a different emotional structure as well. And, of course, with universe and our intuition and trusting that, especially if that's not something that you have been able to do wholly and fully. So, we're doing well. It takes time, but we're doing well. So while all that's happening, universe is asking you to rest, and self-love is very important. They're saying, they're not talking about overindulgence or excessive behaviours. Talking about gentle, restful, relaxing, but purposeful self-love. This is a time of reset before things start to take off. And the you who you have been becoming needs to step up. The you who you are destined to be comes together with not only soul tribes, but soulmates. And I'm not just talking romantic soulmates. I mean, it could be, but I'm talking all forms, friends, family, chosen family, animals, in whatever way. It's time to bring, others who are here for a purpose and to bring the energy into the world that's going to be needed moving forward. Universe has been guiding everyone for some time. And the next couple of years are where, we're going to see more movement of souls coming together from all walks of life, to heal together, to grow, to learn, to teach, and prepare everyone to use their energies in ways the universe may have revealed to some and is yet to reveal to others. The next say 2 years, and this isn't a doom and gloom and doomsday sort of thing, not at all. This is more of a, the next couple of years are going to be about us joining together in a way that hasn't been seen before. and building something on an energetic level, integrating the feminine and the masculine energies, the shadow side and the light side of ourselves. You know, bringing that all together, integrating it all, and being able to use that and alchemize it into a way that's going to help in the healing, and that's going to be needed. And you know, we're going to be using those energies in very powerful ways. You know, yes, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be smooth sailing. There are going to be people in our lives that fall away or already have fallen away because they don't see that path that we're on right now. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. They are where they are meant to be at this time. But, you know, over the next couple of years, people will either wake up and start their healing journey, or they won't. I mean, that's their path. So we are going to be tested in ways we've never been tested. We're going to hear and see things that we haven't before. But it's not all hard work. You know, there's going to be a lot of love. There's going to be a lot of laughter. There's going to be a lot of healing. There's going to be a lot of energy, you know, from the collective being put out into the world to try and help heal, you know, or bring light to those that need it. You know, there's going to be a lot of expansion and people discovering their soul purpose. And Universe has said even those who think they have found their soul purpose are going to discover that what they thought was their purpose was only a stepping stone to their true purpose. So you might be doing something now and you might have been drawn to it to do that your whole life or for years, or you're just discovering that. And, you know, Universe is saying as you grow and evolve, you know, it's going to change. Not for everyone, but, you know, you might be heading somewhere now and then be something else that'll be, you know, a step up in the evolution of who you are and your soul purpose. Sort of like a leveling up energetically, not in an egotistical self-serving way. It's for the betterment of the path that we're all on. So some of you may have been receiving messages, downloads, or feelings about being called to something, or feeling like your life doesn't feel right or fulfilling or resonate, or that there's something else that you should be doing but don't know what exactly. That was myself. I knew that I should have been doing something up until about 3-4 months ago, and I didn't know what. I didn't know for years. I had no idea. I knew I had to heal, and I had a lot of healing work to do. And I've been on that path and will continue on that path, you know, for the rest of my life. But it wasn't until I started this channel that I'm like, okay, this is where I'm meant to be right now. And I feel like this is a calling, and, you know, maybe a stepping stone to something else. But this channel is something that I've wanted to start for several years, and circumstances sort of prevented that from happening. Mainly blocks within myself that I gave too much of my power away to what others thought, what others said, no belief in myself. And so it was something that was sitting at the back of the mind for a long time. And then, you know, through the healing process, through the first part of this year, it was just like, you know what, it's time. Just do it. You know, just do it. You're scared? Do it anyway, you know. So yeah, you don't know what exactly, and that's your soul calling you to open up to what and where you know you should be going, or you could be going. I shouldn't really say should. Where universe would like to direct you and guide you. So universe is already nudging and will continue to do so until you do hear the message or take the action needed or whatever. And then when you do decide and you do open up, you know, they will guide you if you're unsure. You know, they'll present paths and options and people, places, things, you know, to help with that. The hardest but most courageous thing you can do is take the action or actions that you are guided to take and step into where you are meant to be and who you are meant to be with, and doing what you are here on this earth to be doing. You know, listening to universe, taking the steps, you know, continuing with the learning and the growing and the healing and you know, teaching, if that's what, you know, we're all teachers in our own way. You know, everything teaches us something, doesn't it? So, but it's exciting, you know, and knowing that there's a lot of things coming. Not knowing what exactly, but just knowing that there's going to be big changes, and you know, we're all a part of it. You know, universe said they'll reveal a little at a time when it's ready or is needed. And I had to laugh when they told me this. They said it's kind of like a scavenger hunt, isn't it? Scavenger hunt of life, you know, or even an escape room or a puzzle or something. You know, universe gives us clues and puzzles or little hints to get us to the next stage, and we have to complete certain tasks before we're presented with the next clue. You know, it's it's sort of funny to think of it that way. You know, it's like the universe breadcrumbing us in a little bit of a way to, you know, I guess it's, you know, to see, you know, for us to learn along the way, but also to see if we're ready, because it'll never give us, you know, something that we're not ready for. And they say, are you ready for what's next? I know I am. I'm excited. And yes, I know it's about divine timing, but it's what you're doing while, you know, it's the journey to each step and each part of that evolution and evolving and growing. You know, it's that movement forward, that momentum to keep going and keep moving. Okay, and right now, unless universe has told you otherwise, especially over the next few days, it's asking you to rest and take care of yourself, while the energy that's around us does its work. So they're asking you to do something that you want to do that's just for you. Something for your soul, from your heart space. saying treat yourself to something. Even if it's as simple as taking yourself out for lunch or dinner, or off to the movies, or a nice leisurely walk in nature, or a random road trip with no destination in mind. Pamper yourself. Get yourself a massage, or candlelit bath. Pamper yourself. Yes, the masculines can do this too. It's not a female or male thing. It's about coming into balance with your feminine energy right now, and nurturing that side of yourself, because things are a little bit heavy or chaotic right now, especially with trying to integrate these new parts of self. And it's not about taking days out. It's, even if you've only got like half an hour of time, just to find something that helps you rest, but not just rest your mind. Not thinking, not doing, just being. And then there's, for those that are unable to go out and do things for whatever reason, busy lifestyle, finances, obligations, all that sort of stuff. Just do what you can. If you haven't got a bath, get a bucket with some warm salty water and do a foot soak to sort of ground yourself and release any toxins. Take yourself for a walk around the neighbourhood, or like me, I dyed and cut my own hair the other day. Just a delicious home cooked meal, healthy meal, with your favourite dessert or whatever it is. I think it's important to sort of just remember at times that, there's those elements of ourselves, the masculine and the feminine and the inner child, that all need nurturing, all need that balance. And sometimes we forget that when we get too caught up in our own lives, and we tend to sort of become very narrow focused on what it is that we're doing, that we do sometimes forget. And it's it's not a purposeful thing. We just need that gentle reminder every now and then. And especially at the moment, with that integrating of the new and releasing, you've already released the old. Most people have anyway. And if not, you're going through that. And over the next few weeks, this full moon, being the blue moon, excuse me, it's basically not going to give us a choice. it's not going to give us a choice. It's going to ruffle up a few feathers inside of ourselves and bring to the surface things that do need to be let go of, or changed, or evolved in a different way. So those that are sort of feeling a bit out of place at the moment, just know that you're not alone. There are many that are going through very similar journeys right now in their own ways. Everyone's doing, got their own paths and their own things that they're going through at the moment. But I think the common theme is that a lot of people are releasing a lot of things that have come to the surface and that have been brought to the light, that that need to be released so that they can move forward into the next part of their journey. So anyway, that's the message for today anyway, and I'll leave that there. I will never reach out to anyone in any way, shape or form for a reading or for money. Please be aware of scammers. Also, please block, delete, report any of that if anyone does message you in any way. Also, if you could please follow, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It'll really help get the messages that I am privileged to be able to share with everyone out to the right people when it's meant to. So, and thank you and have a great day. Bye.